It's only been 4 days since the Nintendo Switch 2 was launched, and it has been crazy. Nonstop, I'm seeing people talking about it, positive and negative. That's always how it is. But for sure, there's a lot of excitement out there for one reason or another. I have the Switch 2. Did you grab one? I mean, are you excited for this thing? I've been playing Mario Kart World, having a lot of fun with that. Some Cyberpunk as well. I did get the ridiculous Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I have not played it yet. We may be jumping into that during a live stream. I'm going to start streaming this week. I got that game for free off of GameStop with some reward certificate action. Maybe I shouldn't have wasted the reward certificate, got something else, but I was like, I'm going to check it out. See what to do with that. Should have been free to begin with. But regardless, we don't have a ton of games that are exclusive to the Switch 2 yet, but the forecast of games that are coming out, they've been announcing stuff, the new Splatoon. There's been some interesting things. So the roadmap's looking okay. It's looking okay. But the big news today is that the Nintendo Switch 2, they just announced this, has sold over 3.5 million units worldwide in its first 4 days, becoming the fastest selling Nintendo hardware ever globally, dude, globally. So they do have a press release out, nintendo.co.jp. What do we got here? There's some interesting things. This is the highest global sales level for any Nintendo hardware within its first 4 days. I mean, they're killing it, dude. They're doing like massive numbers so far. I thought there was going to be some crazy shortage, right? That's what I thought. It is funny because I just got my email from Nintendo. Like, hey, it's your turn to shop. Fools, I already got my Switch 2. You guys are a little late. Like, I was like, man, I met the criteria. You guys should have got me to begin with, but I guess the demand was so huge, dude. But yeah, I just got my email for that. It's kind of funny, right before I started recording this. But let's see what else they got to say. Switch 2 is a successor to the Switch, obviously. Features a larger, more responsive screen, magnetic Joy-Con 2 controllers, but we're already hearing Joy-Con 2 drift, dude, that they already have in motion replacements. I wish. I know what, Hall effect, they're saying with the magnets, there could have been issues with that, but they could have gone a different direction, since the system does have the magnets inside. Hall effect may not have worked properly, but they could have went with a different design. I did see the teardown somebody did where they look almost identical to the Switch 1 Joy-Con analog sticks. So Nintendo, they already have in motion. If you're going to need replacements, they will replace them for free. That's a good thing, but it still kind of sucks. I never really used my Joy-Cons on the Switch 1, but my kids did, and I swapped them like 3 times, and there was no big issue. I remember the first 2 times they gave me brand new Joy-Cons. The third time, it seemed like they gave me refurbished ones because they did not seem new. Oh, I don't know, man, but okay. Not much to this press release here, but it is interesting, everything that's going on with this launch here. There's not a ton of games. Let me blow this up. There's not a ton of games that released with the system that's like exclusive to the console. We got Mario Kart World, which is sweet. We got the Switch 2 versions of the Zelda games. Cool, but it's like this launch, in my opinion, has been interesting. I think I said this before because I even kind of heard the rumblings of this initially where it was like this was going to be the soft launch and then they were going to ramp it up toward the end of the year, where it was going to be like the full-on launch with all the launch games and everything. Because, yeah, the only thing we got was Mario Kart World. We didn't get no mainline game in the Mario series, nothing else. We do get that Donkey Kong game next month. I'm looking forward to that. But to have, like, the Switch 2 editions of games for the next couple months and then Mario Kart World, sweet. And then getting, like, things like Street Fighter 6, Cyberpunk 2077, games that are not new, but maybe new to Switch players. Those games have been out for a while now. Yeah, it's kind of a weird launch. it's a weird launch. It's surprising in a sense to see how well the system has done so far, but it's not. It's not because, of course, the way things looked, everybody was going to buy one of these. You see a lot of people out there who are going to hate and be like, I'm not buying this crap. And that's fine. But even with the pricing, man, $450 to $500 for one of the two systems, the $80 Mario Kart World, the freaking $70 the $70 games, with Tears of the Kingdom being $70 initially on the Switch, which was like, hey, that's crazy. The game's, up there in price, and then the Switch 2 version comes out and it's $80. Like, what the hell, dude? So, seeing the pricing on these games, seeing how much the system costs, it's weird how, people are still just embracing it. Nintendo's Nintendo. I knew people were just going to bypass all that and not care. I knew it was bound to happen. I just knew it. But then the other thing that I've been seeing talked about today or mentioned is this interview that is posted on WCCF Tech with it's a developer Q&A with Koei Tecmo about their game Wild Hearts S, where they're talking about the studio's first thoughts on the Switch 2 console, where they believe it to be closer to a Xbox Series S than a PlayStation 4 when it comes to overall power. I find that interesting to hear like what developers think and have to say. I mean, isn't the Switch 2, it's using some kind of, trickery and whatnot to do certain things. But, is it necessarily that powerful? I don't know about all that. But it is going to be interesting to see what these developers are going to be able to do with this system, how far they're going to be able to push it. The biggest thing I think with the Switch 2 is not just like Mario Kart World and the couple, games that were previously released on other consoles and on PC that finally made it to Nintendo, but the stuff that wasn't advertised. Like, yeah, okay, we have the Switch 2 upgrades that you could pay for, and then there's some of the free upgrades for games that we knew about and that Nintendo has listed. But then there's so many other Switch 1 games that have been upgraded, performance-wise, just by throwing the game into a Switch 2. Frame rate-wise and whatnot, just performance overall. So that's really cool to see. I've been seeing a lot of that out there. And there's tons of people that are like, is it really worth it to buy right now? And, I mean, I always say there has to be a system seller. And for many people, I guess Mario Kart World is a system seller. For me, I really wanted to play it. And plenty of people, they're just Nintendo fans, and it's like, hey, I'm going to get the system when it comes out. There's going to be games I want to play, so why not enjoy it from the get-go? That makes sense to me as well. But if that's not the way you look at it, and you got to have a system seller, and Mario Kart World's not doing it for you, does the Switch 1 upgrades, updates, performance improvements, does that do it for you? Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of games there that they were stuttering, getting like 20 FPS. Now they get like a solid 30, or, they were stuttering around 30 to 40. Now they're hitting 60, things like that. So that's really cool to see. But does that really push it for people who are on the fence? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's been an interesting 4 days is really all I'm trying to say here. It's cool to see that they sold 3.5 million units. Is this system going to be able to touch the Switch 1 as far as numbers go? With this kind of a start, maybe, but it has to be a consistent drop of games, man. Nintendo's going to have to keep on killing it with their releases. They're going to have to keep putting system sellers out, right? They're going to have those big drops and do them strategically. And Nintendo has been very smart with that, I think, for the most part. With the Switch 1, there's been some times where it's like, I don't know what they're doing, but sometimes it seems like we may think that, but it seems otherwise at times because they're still killing it. Thanks for watching. Bye.